Welcome to the English audio thriller podcast, The Murder Matrix. Chapter 3 Wrath. Aisha woke up from her reverie by the phone call to report another murder case. This time, though she was called to play a small role in the investigation. But the case took a chaotic turn, and the end was beyond anybody's imagination. Over the years, I had come to terms with my temper, dealing with people who deserved to bear it, and working with a team that needed to see it. In fact, I got pretty swollen-headed over this attitude of mine. My job defines me. I need that temper there. I used to think. Dealing with crimes every day, leading a team, chasing people, chasing pieces of a mysterious puzzle. Nevertheless, my temper in the past few years has already snatched enough things, enough people away from me to want to question and condemn it more and more every day.
Can you ever listen to me, Aisha, for God's sake? I can see you going overboard with all this.
Yeah, you think I care? You have never cared enough to take a look and you expect me to...
What's up, miss? Where are you? I'm sorry for interrupting your holiday, but we need you here. I really can't help it.
What is it? New case, new murder, or what? I spoke up, still dazzled with the angry voices ringing in my thoughts.
Why else do you suppose we'll need you? Anyways, you never let us finish the case on time.
What? Seriously, Mr. Sharma? Why did you even call me then? You don't want any troubles, right? You can handle it very well. After all, you just want to shut the case somehow.
All right, lady, just come, please.
Okay, give me an hour. I wonder if it is a problem if I struggle to control my impulses. Does this control come naturally to others? Well, sure, it's a problem. I have already lost Vicky. I cannot lose everyone in my life for something so trivial as my temper. But I have been learning. I have been working with my troubled head, with no clue how far the destination is. What's up? What's the news?
There. Here is the news.
Mr. Sharma gestured towards the interrogation room that apparently had our new prey seated within.
The new inmate of our beautiful station. We got him from Crown's Plaza. Well, actually, it was a phone call from one of the residents there. An eminent businessman called Mr. Ghosh from flat 202 was found dead this morning, his wounded body lying in the filthy gutter next to the main gate. People said it was quite a contrast, his shining fantastic suit drenched deep in that filth of drains. Nobody expected business people to end up like that. Anyways, at the first phone call, we made it to the residency and found the dead body mainly bullet wounds, but our very capable forensic team reported the wounds to be fresh. Must have been something like 30 minutes to be precise. Since it's just 5:30 in the morning and the sun has just risen, it is very likely that the bullets were fired and the body dragged all the way up to the drains just half an hour earlier while it was still the darkest hour. Well, don't give me that stare, Aisha. I'm just repeating what Dr. Ravi said. And it turned out to be true eventually. Yes, ma'am, that was our biggest clue. We took immediate actions and closed the gates of the residence. We decided not to let anyone go out or come in until the basic investigations were completed. The first thing we checked was the CCTV footage. And for the first time ever, that was enough. We saw a lean, tall man dressed in black dragging the body to the drains while the useless idle guards slept on the chairs, trying their best to guard the gates. At least that's what they claimed. We were just beginning to get surprised at our great luck today when another guard screamed and proclaimed to recognize the guy. It was Ankit Aryan, resident of flat 304. And there, our case was solved. Like, can you believe it, Aisha? I could not. I have never seen a murder mystery being solved this quick.
Whoa, that's impressive. But why exactly did you call me here then? You all seem to have managed everything.
Except the confession. He's in a relentless denial of the act. We tried but gave up in the end. You are the last hope. I mean, you're good at interrogation and stuff, Aisha. I have called with a lot of expectations. Just give it a try. If he still continues with his "I don't know anything, I think you're mistaken. I did not kill him," then just let it be. We have enough evidence to prove him a convict, but the confession shall definitely strengthen the case. However, the confession is not a compulsion this time.
Oh, okay, alright. Let's try. I walked past the officers, making my way across the main hall to the interrogation cell, all the while thinking about how to begin the procedure. People do say I'm pretty good at it, but no matter how many cases I take up and how many sessions I sit in, it feels new every single time. It feels like my first time. Probably because of the suspect sitting in front of me, it's always the first time. And each suspect has a different past, different instances, different stories, so naturally, a different way to make it through the interrogation. And that requires me to figure out a different way to handle each one each day. Hello there, Mr. Ankit Aryan. Heard you're giving a bit of trouble to my teammates, huh? Look, everything is clear as a glass. The cameras have recorded you. The guards have already given their statements. With all the cards against you in this game, there's seriously no escape. So better confess. I mean, confessions will actually make our lives easier in court and your life easier in prison.
I cannot. I have no reason to kill that man. Why would I?
You have been recorded, for God's sake. What explanation do you have for that?
I don't know. It's a trap. I cannot confess because it's not me. So will you please stop repeating the same question? You don't even have anything else other than the recording.
Which is enough, quite enough. And I stormed out of the room. He did not seem to budge. What do we do? It's not necessary anyways, the confession. We can do without it. But this calm, this peace, this unperturbed look on his face moved me into action. I want to see what's behind that mask of composure. I want to see what's beyond those Pacific sea-like blue eyes. I want to look around his place. Did you guys pay a visit? I blurted out without a pause.
And why do you wish to go there, may I ask, ma'am? We have got a suspect with enough clues to prove him a convict, and still you want to go that extra mile, is it?
You don't understand. He's not ready to confess. And it's not just that. I feel he does not look like the culprit.
Especially for a psychopath, right?
Dr. Roy, one of the members of the forensic team, came in.
Psychopath? What's going on, Dr. Roy?
I looked around only to find the curious look of mine reflected on all the faces in the room. Dr. Roy began to drop in the little facts from the post-mortem reports.
Cause of death is the bullet wound. Multiple bullet wounds. But that is not the end. Here at the lower back, please take a look at these stab marks. So many of them.
He traced the body's picture all along the back, pointing out the exact position of the stab injuries that had clotted into the dark red spots before it could bleed.
Who would do that? Somebody very aggressive. He doesn't seem like the one.
Thanks for helping, Dr. Roy. I retorted, turning to Mr. Sharma, standing with a helpless look in his eyes. So, can we please leave for Crowns Plaza? Let's not waste much time. Mr. Sharma walked up to me.
I do not understand how you managed to drag every case for days and days until you are content. I had called you to help. Doesn't look like you did anything.
Exactly. I haven't done anything yet, so I beg you to help me figure out something.
Yeah, let's get going. Sir, you're back. Yes, we just decided to have a look around. There you go. We are here. Unleash your detective superpowers, Miss Aisha, and find whatever shit you seek.
Yes, I will. And I finally began the scout. Moving about the hall, looking around to find nothing but huge portraits hung across the wall. The serene eyes and pale, chubby face of Mr. Ghosh, a contrast to the textured wall behind. He was a big shot indeed. I thought to myself, glancing at the magnificent diamond ring adorned on his thumb. The ruby locket hung around the collar, and his graceful raiment jacket could not elude my eyes either. None of it was found with the body, and I knew for a fact that they shall never be found again. It rests with his killer and shall never be returned. Nevertheless, I moved on. Drawers, cupboards, windows, doors, tables, mirrors, and more. And the hours passed on until. Guys! I guess I found something. What? And it was there. Not discreet like the invisible ink last time, but very crisp and very clear. Angry men often rise at night with wrath feeding in their mind to bring forth the unpredictable. Who knows if it's right or everything unjustified? Written in bold letters in blood on doors enclosing the bedroom cupboard. I read it once more to let it sink in, and so did the others. There you go. Once more, another beautiful poem in front of us. When does this stop? I banged the door too hard and took a moment to clear it out. Okay. I want you to get this Ankit's phone records ASAP, Raghu. You, Mr. Rajiv, please hurry up and call the forensic team to collect whoever's blood this is, I said, pointing to the red letters on the door. And,
Whoa. Wait. Will you please explain before thrashing out orders like that?
Look, Mr. Sharma, I do not know how that guy Ankit got into all this, but he's not the one we are looking for. This whole murder revolves around the emotion of anger. And that guy sitting in the interrogation room is anything but an angry psychopath. So I'm going to do everything in my power to investigate him well and arrive at some possible deduction. Starting with his phone records. And I left, heading to the station, expecting some solitary hours to sort the mess out. Yeah, what is it, Raghu? Any updates? He eventually called after an hour, apparently with some good news.
Ma'am, we've got the phone records here, and there is an interesting pattern that's very remarkable actually. There is one contact number that shows up in his record every week, and yesterday, strangely, he received multiple, 5 to 6 calls from this contact. Nothing else seems wary to me, just this contact.
Okay, so hurry up and find out about the number. Get back to me with full reports.
That's not required. I just checked. This number belongs to Montenegro Mental Asylum. It is like a 15-kilometer drive from the Crown's Plaza.
Mr. Sharma spoke up, walking into the station. He seemed to have done his job quite fast. An asylum? What? Are you serious? Is this guy really a psychopath then?
Well, we need to visit the asylum for that.
Good evening, ma'am. How may I help you? Please help us with some information. There's this man, Ankit Aryan. How exactly is he associated with this asylum? Ankit Aryan. Ma'am, he's not a patient here, but I have heard that name before. I may have to check the records. But, ma'am, unfortunately, I'm not expected to divulge any information from the records. The patients and their family expect confidentiality. Here, I held up my ID and it was enough to shush her and get her working. Cops, please give me a second. Ankit Aryan, his brother is one of the inmates of this asylum. He's a regular visitor, ma'am. Visits every week. Looks like he's very close to his brother, otherwise, the patients here rarely get any visitors. Ankit has a brother. Twin brother to be precise. They sort of look like. Had Ashok not been a mentally unstable, they actually embody the same personality. Interesting. Can you meet his brother? What is his name? Ashok Aryan. I can allow you to see him because this seems to be an important investigation, but I request you all to be careful with what you speak. He's very excited and quite hyperactive. Please be cautious. He's suffering from mania. Yeah, don't worry. We won't trouble him much.
Hey, Linda, do you know how long I've been waiting for? My day has been.
Hey, listen. I'll come and ask about your day later, alright? But first you need to meet your new guests here. Hey Ashok. How are you? I spoke up with a hint of hesitation in my voice, and he stared at me with his innocent glare. He was very well kept actually, except for the bandage on his arm. A happy, healthy glow on his face, dressed well and covered with flashy jewelry. But that ring, I've seen that before. Where?
Who are you?
We wanted to meet you, Ashok. Ashok, do you know Mr. Ghosh?
No. Who is he? Is he coming to meet us? Coming here? My new friend?
No, he's just a friend. I thought he might know you, so. Anyways, tell us more about your brother Ankit.
Oh, he had just come yesterday. I was missing him a lot, so I called him multiple times and forced him to come to meet me. He was busy, but since he loves me so much, he agreed to come. He's the best brother in the world. Like, really, he adores me, and I adore him too.
And he continued with his babble for another few minutes before we were convinced that we must leave. He has no clue about Mr. Ghosh or his brother's involvement. Miss Linda, I guess we better leave now. All right, sir.
Come on, we can't find anything here.
Yeah. And we left. But the ring was bothering me. Where had I seen it? At the station, 9:45 a.m.
So, what's next?
I don't know. I'm thinking. Wait, what about the blood DNA reports? Whose blood is that on the cupboard?
Belongs to a third person, not in the police records, so we can't find him.
Oh my god, hold on. So it's not Mr. Ghosh's blood? Who else lost so much blood that day? And then the truth hit me finally. The bandage on Ashok's arm and the familiar ring began to make a lot of sense. And I got up to leave. Until
Your lead this time, Aisha. I already have him here.
Ashok stood next to Mr. Sharma, confused, but still very excited.
I identified that ring before you did, Aisha. The huge portraits of Mr. Ghosh's residence, I had looked at them very closely, each and every detail. I knew the moment I saw it. This used to be Mr. Ghosh's valuable possession. So, I got Ashok here. Hey, how dare you get him here, huh?
Ankit screamed and startled all of us, including his brother, who after a split second instinctively started advancing towards Aryan.
Brother, how are you? You did not come to see me today. But look at this, you're here, and I got to meet you anyways. Sir, ma'am, I asked you to leave him. Get him back to the asylum right now.
Why don't you confess now, Aryan? We all know who has done it, I said, and Aryan broke down.
I don't understand how we ended up here. Mr. Ghosh and I, We had known each other for years, living so close to each other. We were close enough to greet each other with a warm smile and a hug, but not enough to know the secrets or very personal facts. In fact, now that I think of it, I do not know anyone closely, and I don't have time to know anyone. I've got a brother to care for, and I work very, very hard. I I visit Ashok very often, and it was last week that he expressed this desperate wish to come and live with me for a day. I relentlessly refused to accept it for almost a week, but how long can you resist someone you love so much? I gave in to his suggestion, the biggest mistake of my life. The very night I got him home, that was yesterday, I found him missing from his room. I seriously searched everywhere, sir, and it wasn't until dawn that I saw him carrying that body to the.
But why, Mr. Ghosh?
I am clueless. I was myself very shocked. All I remember is his face that was red with anger, but I do not know the reason. His arm was injured, he was bleeding. I did not know how to react.
Oh, so it was his blood in Mr. Ghosh's house.
There, at that point of time, all I could think was to drive him back to the asylum, but when I returned, I understood that everyone suspected me. I was happy for a while, at least my brother won't have to suffer. He's already suffering enough, but I could not protect him. Now he does not remember anything about that night, so neither you nor I can get the truth out of him.
Look, Arun, I really appreciate your honesty and your courage. You have been very, very brave. But we have to take Ashok in custody. I hope you understand. He's dangerous. But I'm very sure the court will acquit him soon, keeping in mind his mental state. And he may be back in the asylum with the judiciary imposed precautionary measures. I stole a glance at Ashok. He was busy chatting with Mr. Akash. Happy, ignorant, and innocent. Why would he become so angry? And I know the mind behind the mysterious messages had done it. But how? Ashok won't remember. People don't know what happened in the asylum. Who instigated all this? The burden of this growing pile of doubts is weighing me down. And I must find the answers before it's too late. Before I lose myself amidst the emotional labyrinth created by this mystery man. Nowhere to be found. Fear first, disgust next, then anger. What's next?